speaking of the Chargers, a game that we could preview. Next week we have the Chargers versus the Seahawks, and the Chargers are at home. They're, I believe, a -6.5 favorite. What are your thoughts with that game so far?
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the Chargers come out with a win on what was that Monday Night Football. It
Against
was
the
a
Broncos.
yeah against the Broncos, a grinded out game. Low scoring game like all these Thursday Night Football games are. Um, you know, we saw that you know that thing on social media of people joking about always just betting the unders, and
Yeah,
you bet the unders on all the
prime time games
I
are
know,
good.
yeah, and you're good. You have more money than Jeff Bezos soon. So, um, yeah. But look, the Chargers, they get the Seahawks at home. This is a Seahawks team that's been kind of over exceeding expectations, right? They've been able to get some good wins. They've been able to even put up tons of points, right? We saw Rashad Penny go down, rookie running back.
Kenneth
Kenneth
Walker just
Walker
steps
steps
right
in
in.
and runs wild, and it's they're a surprise team. And yeah, like I said, putting up points, so they get to roll into the Chargers and do what they can do. Geno Smith's been playing at a pretty high level. Not He's not super consistent, but he's been much more consistent than I think anybody would have thought. You would have
Yeah,
looked at this, beginning of the year. Oh, they got Geno Smith as the quarterback.
yeah, they got the
They
Jets,
they
Geno
getting
Smith.
yeah they're getting rolled over. But no, they've been performing well. They've got the run game going. They've been able to put up tons of points in the air. Geno Smith's been having some games airing it out. Um, yeah, I mean it's a tough one. The Chargers have been really up and down this year, really because of
Yeah,
Herbert's rib
ribs.
injury,
Yeah,
right? And that was right before they played the Texans, and they lost to the Texans. But since then, I mean they've been able to find wins, and they're not all pretty, but they've been doing it. 6.5 spread. It's tough here. I'd probably take the points with the Seahawks. I don't think I think the Chargers are going to win this one, but just in general, games have been just really tight and
yeah,
all
with the
around the
Chargers
NFL this
especially.
year, and especially the Chargers. So yeah, I like the Chargers to win here. If I gotta lay money down, I'm probably taking the Seahawks with 6.5 points, and hoping that the game is close. But yeah, you know, like I said, Chargers are finding ways to win those close games, and I would expect them to continue it. I mean, they had that, right before was the win
The
against the
Browns.
Browns, right? That
Yeah,
was another close win. It was a good win for them, but a close win. So whatever it is, right? I don't know if it's their coach, and all those fourth downs. We talked
yeah,
about
those
that
fourth downs are
before,
crazy.
but yeah, they just haven't really been able to pull away the way that you would think that offense should. Uh, and like I said, who knows? Maybe it's once Keenan Allen's back, everything just clicks. But it seems like it's maybe a little bit more than
Yeah, I
that. They
think
have to
it's
find
deeper
their rhythm
than
somewhere.
right. I think they need to find their rhythm, kind of find their identity. I think they should get Gerald Everett involved a little bit more.
Hmm.
Justin Herbert seems to like him as a target. Even I believe last game he had a great game.
Hmm.
Against the Browns he had a great game, but again, it's they just can't really find their identity. This is a game where I have the Seahawks as the dark horse next week. I think the Seahawks knock them off. For some reason, I just don't. Maybe it's just Pete Carroll. He just doesn't see rebuilding in his blood, and he just wants to go out there and win any game he can. That's just the competitive nature of him. But yeah, I don't know. The Chargers been struggling against a lot of teams, and they just struggled against the Broncos. Granted, the Broncos have a great defense, but again, they struggled against the Broncos. They struggled against the Browns. The Seahawks aren't a pushover. We've seen that all season, so that's something. That's a game to look forward to. Um, Another game that we have. Speaking of the Browns, we have the Browns versus the Ravens. They're playing them at M&T Bank Stadium. So the Ravens are at home. I believe they're -6.5 favorite right now.
Hmm.
Um, but that's also an interesting game. I think the Browns, they play very run dominant, and they keep the ball out of Jacoby Brissett's hands as much as they can. I mean, you can do that when you have Kareem Hunt and you have Nick Chubb. Kind of that two-headed monster where it's like either or can go off for 100 yards at any given moment. But yeah, I think the Ravens have to be careful here because their rush defense is what kind of sets them back a little bit. So
Yeah, and this is a situation. If you're the Ravens, one, you need to win this game because you're only 3-3 regardless. Two, you need to win this game because this is against a divisional opponent.
right,
Now the Browns come in here 2-4, but they haven't played like a 2-4 team at times. And we've seen Nick Chubb come out and dominate games already this year. And you mentioned Kareem Hunt, his counterpart. Also, he's also another one who's able to go off on you. Um, Ravens need to kind of, try to stop the bleeding early and not let them go crazy and kind of, be able to put up points for themselves. This is a game where if you're the Ravens, right, and you get up to a decent lead like you did against the Dolphins, like you did against the Bills, you probably keep these guys out of here. You know, you probably end the game pretty much early, and you get to coast to victory. If you keep these Browns in the game and they're able to rely and keep rushing the ball on you, well, guess what? They're gonna chew the clock. They're gonna make this a drag out game, and you're gonna be stuck in a slugfest where you may or may not be able to win it late, close. We saw them not be able to do that against the Giants already. If you're the Ravens, get on them early, do what you need to do, make sure you got your offense in sync, and make sure that you have your personnel on the defensive end keying in on that run game because you want to make Jacoby Brissett beat you with his arm.
Yeah.
Don't let them off the hook and let him run the ball on you.
And I think the thing is too is Jacoby can do that, but it's a lot harder for him to do that rather than them just running the ball and being able to run a clock and control the game, control the pace of the game. But yeah, what the Ravens need to do is because they play great in the first half. They're a great first half team. They play good in the first quarter, second quarter. It's more so halftime. They need to make halftime adjustments. The defense needs to make halftime adjustments. The offense, they need to be able to put up points. Kenyon Drake had a pretty solid game against the Giants last week. Maybe get him a little bit more involved. I know they just signed Deshaun Jackson, but I don't think they're going to get him involved yet too much into the offense. I doubt he maybe even get reps this week, but if he does, then that's a whole different factor. Then you could take the top off the defense. But yeah, I think the Ravens, they just need to take care of the football, one. Two, be able to make some halftime adjustments and then just be able to kind of get to where they need to get defensively to stop the run. So another game that we can get into is the Chiefs versus the 49ers. The Chiefs are the favorite, I believe. They're what is the -3?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're -3 favorites. They're playing at Levi Stadium, and it's an interesting game because I don't think the Chiefs have too much to worry about, but again, the 49ers have a great defense. So
yeah, this is kind of like I see this as like a trap game.
Yeah.
Look, we saw the 49ers lose to the Falcons last week. But the 49ers went all the way across country to play them. Came in after some pretty good wins on their end. This is a game where they're home. The Chiefs come to them. This is a game where, look, Chiefs are a better team. They should be able to win this game. But the Chiefs' defense is great, and they're one of the best pass defense in the league. So when you have that scenario and the Chiefs have at times struggled to run the ball as much as they've wanted to, right? You have the emergence of some of their other young running backs at different points, but Really, their bread and butter on offense is that pass game with Mahomes and getting the ball to Kelsey and the
Kelsey,
other
yeah.
receivers out wide. The 49ers have a shot here to if they could keep this close, run the ball, keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand. It's the perfect kind of game
Connor.
plan and counter to a Chiefs offense that when they keep getting possessions, they just keep
Keep
throwing the
leading the
ball and then
ball.
getting in sync and lining it up. Also, the other thing with the Chiefs, we know no lead is safe, right?
No.
The 49ers, how they're going to win is, a more lower scoring game than the Chiefs want to play as well. But it's tough because, we've seen the Chiefs be, behind in points and then fly back in and put up points in a hurry to be able to get back in it. But yeah, I would expect the Chiefs to win this game. 3 point spread, pretty low spread, some that they should cover. But yeah, I would not be surprised at all if the 49ers came and found a way to make this one a close one and pull this one out late.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do as well. They obviously they run the ball well. They kind of struggled against the Falcons last week, but the Chiefs' run defense isn't the greatest. I mean, the Falcons' run defense isn't the greatest either, but I think they'll pick it up. I think they don't often have where they go like back to back and they have bad rushing offenses. Um, and then on top of that, they're playing at home, so that's also a factor. But again, I think if the Chiefs get a big enough lead to where they have to put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands, I think we'll see Jimmy G kind of shaken up a little bit. I don't know if he'll be able to throw the 49ers back into the game. Although he's a good quarterback, I just don't think he's able to just bring them up to that next level. So I'm with you. I think the Chiefs take care of business. I think they win that by way over three and possibly even a double digit game. So we'll see what happens.